Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss how protein actually operates within the human body. So the first thing we need to figure out is what protein does or where it exists in our body. So the three main things that I want to point out, the first one is that your protein is primarily comprised in your skin and your hair. Okay, these pieces are just almost 100% protein, but we also use protein to transport three things: oxygen, vitamins, and minerals in your bloodstream. Okay, so that's a very, very important part of protein. A lot of people kind of glaze over that, or maybe they forget about it, but that is one of the most important things that protein actually does, is it carries these pieces in our bloodstream to other muscles or vital organs. But speaking of muscles, most of the time when we talk about protein inside the human body, people are usually talking about it in the context of muscles or building muscles. And the reason being is that what happens is when you go to the gym and you work out, what you're doing is you're making little tears in your muscles. So you're kind of ripping your muscles. And so what happens is afterwards your body then sends things over, specifically protein, to your muscles to try to repair those tears. And so people who drink protein shakes directly after they've gone to the gym slowly are going to see that their muscles get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can do this without drinking a protein shake, but if you're looking for that bulk, so I'm probably talking more to my dudes here, if you're looking for that bulk, you want to drink that protein to encourage that growth. Now, I personally am not a fan of protein shakes, but that's just because I'm petite and I don't want to look bulky and big. But if you're drinking protein shakes and you're drinking so much water, okay, I'm not just being crazy and telling you to drink water. You have to drink water if you have protein shakes, otherwise you can get into severe issues with your body. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water. I'm not against them, but just for me personally, I'm not for them. All right, so now, why are we talking about protein? What happens with protein? Well, the first thing we need to realize after we understand where it's at in the human body is that when we have protein in our system, we are participating in the nitrogen cycle. And so we're going to have a separate video on this to talk about the nitrogen cycle by itself, but I want you to keep this in the back of your mind so that when you watch that video, you're going to be ready for it. So basically what happens is you have these wonderful animals. Okay, so this is a cow. Oh geez, terrible drawing. Here's a cow. Okay, so you have these wonderful dry animals. Here's a cow, and what happens is you eat them as a human. So we're having nitrogen go in as we eat them, and then what happens is we have nitrogen come out. Now this happens during the process of when you're peeing or when you're going to the bathroom, okay? So it comes out in urine. So now every single nitrogen component that you take in, you definitely want to pass it right out of your system. We do not store protein as an emergency fuel source, okay? We definitely store other things that we talked about before, but we do not store protein. So we're constantly need to eat that because every single nitrogen component that comes in has to come out. And so this comes out in the bathroom. Now in the future video, we're going to talk about this part right here, the cycle, to complete it, but we're not there yet, so don't worry about it. So what we need to understand from this is that because we're participating in the nitrogen cycle, our human body does not store emergency protein. Okay? What that means, it's more important than people actually give us credit, but what that means is that we constantly have to eat protein. So we must eat protein. Now, there are 9 specific amino acids that we absolutely have to eat. These are considered our 9 essential amino acids. Yes, I do expect you to know the names of the 9 essential amino acids. You don't need another formula or the structure or anything, but you need to know the 9 names. All right, so let's go through these. The first one is histidine. The second one is isoleucine. The third one is leucine. The fourth one is lysine. The fifth one is methionine. Oops, methionine. Oops, sorry about that. I got crazy with my eye. Methionine, there we go. Number 6, we've already discussed this one when we talked about aspartame. So we have our phenylalanine. Number 7, threonine. Number 8, tryptophan. And number 9, valine. Okay? These are the 9 that you absolutely need to know, okay? You have to know their names. You just need to memorize them, so just go ahead and do that now. All right, so now the thing is, what happens is when we eat our nitrogen, we can either end up where we break even, so we eat as much nitrogen as we put out, okay? Or we can maybe eat more nitrogen than we're putting out, and so this can result in 2 different things. So the first one is called a positive nitrogen balance. And essentially that means you've eaten too much nitrogen. Okay, you're eating more than you're pushing out when you go to the bathroom, basically. This is very, very common in 3 major groups: children, pregnant women, and burn victims. So these are 3 different groups of people that are constantly trying to create more muscles. They're trying to build muscles and build a system, right? So think of children, they're growing, so they're always building their muscles. Pregnant women, they're literally turning food into another human, so they're constantly trying to build muscles, especially for the new baby. And then burn victims, they are very, very weak, and they constantly need to rebuild skin, usually is the piece. Remember, protein's in your skin, and so you have to eat a lot of protein in order to do this. So these 3 groups are usually what we would consider a positive end balance. Now we can also have the opposite of this, which would be a negative nitrogen balance, which would, like I said, is the opposite. So instead of too much nitrogen, you don't have enough. So not enough nitrogen. This usually occurs in 1 group, and these are in human starvation. So these are people who either cannot get enough protein to eat, or people who are experiencing some kind of eating disorder. They're choosing not to eat, okay? And so what happens when you have a negative nitrogen balance, instead of with a positive, when you're building more muscles, when you have a negative nitrogen balance, that means you're not eating enough amino acids. So what happens is your body eventually starts to eat itself. And so it's searching for that nitrogen. It needs the nitrogen, so it basically starts ripping apart and eating your muscles. So it's really, really bad. You never, ever want to have a negative nitrogen balance if you can in any way avoid it. So the last thing I want to point out is that there's just kind of one special caveat, and it's a special section, and I'm really just trying to highlight my vegans or my vegetarians. Okay? It is crucial that they do what is called a protein complementary diet. Okay, so what happens is they eat a balanced diet, but you have to, vegans and vegetarians absolutely need to search out and seek out that they're finding all these special foods to make sure that they're getting all 9 of those essential amino acids. So vegans and vegetarians, you have to be proactive about this. It is not okay to just eat asparagus or broccoli all day. You need to get other sources of protein into your system, okay? So let me ask you a quick question here to see if you can highlight or maybe know what you already know. But of these 4 pieces, which is a protein, or what has protein inside of it? So here are your options. You have beans, you have yogurt, you have lentils, you have peanut butter, and hummus. All right? Of these 5, which contains protein? Go. All right, did you get an answer? Hopefully you did, and as long as you picked any one of these 5, you definitely said the right thing. All 5 of these are fantastic sources of protein. Greek yogurt is amazing. That is something that's a really good source of protein. Peanut butter, even better, okay? Very great for it. Hummus, lentils, beans. Bean is one of the cheapest options to get your protein. So if any of you are having money issues or on a budget or anything like that, please, please, please don't go to McDonald's, don't go to Burger King. Eat your beans. It's a great source of protein. They're healthy for you. Take care of yourself, drink water, and have a great day.